All right, so today we're diving into a life kind of cool from the past, and it's a guy named Jonathan Oatley. Lived a good long life, 1790 to 1872.
And what makes this one, I think, really interesting is that, we're going off of somebody's personal genealogy.
Yeah.
This is from a blog post. And she was doing this 52 ancestors in 52 weeks challenge, which is, kind of a cool idea if you're into genealogy.
Yeah.
And so this is week 39, and Jonathan Oatley is number 46 on her Anentefel list.
Yeah, and for those of you that aren't like deep into genealogy, an Anentefel is like a specific way to number your ancestors.
Yeah, it's a system.
So number 46 means that's how he's related to the person that wrote the blog post.
Yeah, so that means he's her third great-grandfather.
Okay.
And, the blog post kind of spells out exactly how they're related. So, he had a daughter, Amy Frances Oatley, and then she had a daughter, Julia E. White, who had a daughter, Alma Bessie Richmond, who had a son, Frederick Walton Seaver, who had this blogger. So.
Wow. So we're going way back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. So what's the mission for today's dive? What are we looking for here?
Well, she had a lot of really interesting details and insights into Jonathan Oatley's life in this blog post. And I think we should just try to bring that out and make him come alive a little bit.
Awesome.
For the listener.
Oh, we do it.
So Jonathan Oatley was born July 7th, 1790 in South Kingstown.
Okay.
Washington County, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
And his parents were Joseph Oatley, who lived 1756 to 1815, and Mary Hazard, who lived a very long life, 1765 to 1857.
Oh, wow.
92 years old.
That is impressive, especially back then, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was born in 1790, but it looks like he wasn't baptized until February 6th, 1813 in Exeter, which is also in Washington County, Rhode Island.
Yeah. Sometimes you see that with, the records from back then. It makes you wonder what was going on. Was it just, they would wait to baptize people until a certain time, or maybe there was just nobody, no clergy around for a while or whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
We can only guess.
Yeah. But he was married pretty soon after that.
Yeah, so he gets baptized February 6th, 1813, and then marries Amy Champlin May 29th, 1813 in Exeter, Rhode Island.
Okay, so just a few months later.
Yep.
And it's kind of neat. Amy Champlin was also baptized at that same church in Exeter just a couple of weeks after Jonathan, February 20th, 1813. It's kind of sweet. They get baptized and then get married a couple of months later.
Yeah, like they went through that, spiritual journey together.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they had a huge family.
Yeah.
14 children.
Wow.
14.
Okay.
So the blog post lists all of them, all 14.
Okay.
With their birth and death years.
Wow. She did her homework.
She did, yeah. So the first 12 were born in South Kingstown, Rhode Island. John Alfred, Joseph H., Elmira O., Nancy E., Lorenzo Dow, Stephen Hazard, William Henry, Benedict, Amy Frances, Jonathan, Mary Eliza, and Hannah H.
Wow. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
And then the last two, Olive F. and George Whittier, were born in East Killingley, Connecticut. So they must have moved at some point in there.
Yeah.
And sadly, it looks like George Whittier died in infancy in 1837.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can you imagine moving with 12 kids in the early 1800s?
Oh, that's hard for me to imagine, even today.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he started buying some property in 1814, just a year after he got married. Bought some land in South Kingstown from an R.A. Hazard for $20.
Wow, $20.
That's a steal.
Yeah. So it looks like he sold an acre of it in 1816, though, to his brother, Joseph Oatley, also for $20.
So, keeping it in the family.
Yep.
And what's really interesting here is how they describe the boundaries of this land.
Yeah.
So it was bounded west by land belonging to the heirs of Daniel Stedman, north by the property of Benjamin T. Peckham, south by a highway, and east by land of Roland Hazard. And it was the same lot that Jonathan's father, the late Joseph Oatley, had owned.
And Amy was named, as a party to the sale. So it's cool that they recognize her property rights.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. It makes you feel like you're, right there.
Yeah, you can just imagine what it'll look like.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it looks like he was pretty involved in his church as well.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of details about his involvement with the Exeter Baptist Church.
Okay.
So in April 1829, the church votes to give him a letter of recommendation.
Okay.
And in July 1829, he's a delegate to the Ecclesiastical Council. And then in October 1829, they give him another letter of recommendation and dismission.
Okay.
And by the way, an ecclesiastical council was basically like a group of representatives from different churches, and they would get together to talk about important issues and stuff,
Okay.
like ordinations or if there were any disputes.
Gotcha.
So it sounds like he was getting ready for something.
Yeah, it does. Like maybe a new position or something.
Yeah, exactly. So right around 1829, he was ordained as pastor of the First Baptist Church of South Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And he served there for about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a big commitment.
yeah, for sure. And then in 1834, he moved to Connecticut
Okay.
with, all 12 kids
Yep.
to East Killingly.
Okay.
And he joins the Baptist church there.
Okay.
And pretty soon, he becomes their pastor.
Okay.
Yeah, around May 1st, 1834.
Gotcha.
And he had a letter of recommendation from the church in South Kingstown. So it seems like they were happy with him.
Yeah, they must have liked him over there. All right, so did anything interesting happen while he was pastor in East Killingly?
Well, there was some trouble in 1847. Church records say that Elder Jonathan Oatley and his wife Amy, Joseph Oatley, William Oatley, Amy Oatley White, were at different times during the year 1847 excluded from the fellowship, ordinances, and watch care of this church.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what was going on back then.
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
I know, right? Could be, disagreements about religious doctrine or maybe their personal behavior or even how the church was run.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's too bad we don't know the exact details,
Yeah.
but I guess it shows that even in a small, close community like that, they can still be conflict.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what's interesting? They got back in.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. On February 5th, 1853, Jonathan, Amy, and the others were unanimously restored to the church.
Okay.
So it seems like they were able to work things out and, forgive each other.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. Okay, well, so the blog post also gives us some info on where he lived and worked over the years. What does it say about that?
So the census records show a pretty clear pattern. In 1820 and 1830, the Oatley family was in South Kingstown, Rhode Island. By 1840, they had moved to Killingly, Connecticut. And then in 1850, 1860, and 1870, they're in East Killingly, Connecticut.
Okay.
So makes sense.
Okay.
Follows, what we already know.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what the records say about his job.
Yeah.
So in 1850, he was 59 years old, and he's listed as a stonecutter.
Okay.
And then in 1860, when he's 69, he's listed as a mason.
Huh.
So it looks like he was working with stone his whole life, but maybe his specific skills or the kind of work he was doing changed as he got older.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe he just wasn't, strong enough anymore to be a stonecutter, so he was doing more, I don't know, like bricklaying type stuff.
Yeah, could be. And the blog post says that he and his sons were quarrymen and granite workers, and they actually owned a quarry near Killingly Old Pond.
Oh, wow.
And the area was known as the Oatley Ledges.
Oatley Ledges. That's cool. Like they made their mark on the area.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says they made long granite steps for a church in a place called Kentuck. And get this, when that church was torn down, the steps were saved, and they're now the entrance steps of the Union Baptist Church in East Killingly.
That is so cool. Something that he and his sons built is still there today.
Yeah, wow. It's kind of like they're still a part of the community.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now get this.
Yeah.
When Jonathan Oatley was 75 years old, he walked from Killingly, Connecticut, all the way back to South Kingstown, Rhode Island, to visit friends and relatives.
Wow. He just walked.
That's what they say.
That's pretty impressive. That's a long way.
Yeah, especially back then.
Yeah.
No cars, no trains,
Yeah.
just walking.
Wow. Yeah, that's a testament to how tough people were back then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so it looks like he died August 10th, 1872 in East Killingly, Connecticut.
Yeah, 82 years old.
Good long life.
Yeah, and the cause of death was listed as old age.
Yeah.
Which is pretty common for, records back then.
Yeah, it was probably just like, wearing out.
Yeah.
And he was a widower by then because his wife Amy had died 7 years earlier in 1865.
Yeah. And the death certificate has a few more details. It confirms he was born in South Kingston, Rhode Island, and that he was a widower. But what's really interesting is that his usual occupation is listed as clergyman.
Really? But I thought he was a stonecutter and a mason.
Yeah, well, that's what the census record said from earlier.
That's weird.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder why they would put clergyman on his death certificate.
Yeah.
Maybe he went back to being a pastor in his later years. Or maybe the people who gave the information for the death certificate just remembered him more as a clergyman than as a stonecutter or mason.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Like maybe that was what he was known for in the community.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people probably would have a lot of respect for a pastor back then.
Yeah, makes sense.
So he's buried in Bartlett Cemetery #1 in Killingly, Connecticut. And get this, the blog post says that before the caskets were buried, they took the silver coffin plates off and gave them to a family member.
Interesting. Wonder why they did that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the silver was valuable.
Yeah, it could be. You know, like a little family heirloom or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe they just didn't want it to get stolen. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah. Also, the blogger has a transcription of his gravestone inscription,
Yeah, okay.
which reads, Reverend Jonathan Oatley was born in South Kingston, Rhode Island, July 7th, 1790, and died in Killingly, August 10th, 1872, aged 82 years, 3 months, and 3 days.
So they put Reverend on his gravestone.
Yeah. So definitely, his religious work was important to his, legacy.
Yeah, sounds like it.
One last thing.
Yeah.
The blogger mentions that there were no probate records found for Jonathan Oatley in the Killingly probate district.
Huh. Okay. So what does that mean?
Well, it could mean that he didn't have a lot of possessions,
Oh, okay.
so there wasn't much to probate. Or maybe his family just handled everything informally.
Yeah, maybe. So, okay, what do you think? What have we learned about Jonathan Oatley?
Well, I think he was a really interesting guy.
Yeah.
He moved from Rhode Island to Connecticut.
Yep.
He was a husband and a father to 14 kids.
14 kids.
Yeah, he was a pastor in 2 different churches, and he was also a stonecutter and mason. He really worked hard.
Yeah.
He left his mark on the community.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's amazing how much we were able to find out about his life just from that one blog post and some public records.
Yeah.
Like all those little details about buying and selling land and the stuff about the church and the different jobs he had. It really brings him to life.
Yeah. It really makes you think about like what life was like back then.
Yeah.
And I think that thing about, him being listed as a clergyman on his death certificate, but as a stonecutter and mason in the census is just so interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Like, what does that tell us?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a mistake.
Maybe, but maybe it's more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe it tells us something about how he saw himself or how other people saw him.
That's something to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that's Jonathan Oatley, a man of faith, family, and hard work. It makes you realize that even seemingly ordinary lives can be pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
And there's so much we can learn from exploring the past.
Yeah, I think that's what makes genealogy so fascinating.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to find.
Right. All right, well, that's it for this week's dive. Thanks for listening. And be sure